Good people, good people, good people.
Good evening.
How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Rob, you shining bright there. You looking good. You got new light.
Yeah,
You got a little glow about you.
Rob laughs. Rob laughs like one of those sneaky cartoon dogs who's up to something. Yeah, you get a little squeal.
I'm gonna get you back for that one.
Are we missing?
I remember that.
That was off the top of the dome too.
That was pretty good, Sean.
Thank you. Hey, are we missing the resident thespian this evening? Is he coming in or is he not?
I think he said he was gonna be late.
I think he's gonna be late.
Okay, I was gonna say thespian is active for those of y'all who, if y'all slow.
Thank you.
I'm looking
Thank
at
you so intelligent.
Bald head dudes like
Sean, you can't miss those.
Hey man, good to see y'all, man. Everybody that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in. We certainly appreciate you. As always, we ask you to copy the link and post it in your social media as opposed to sharing it. It is a truer testament to the algorithm, the way I understand it. And and we're excited, man. I got a lot to talk about, but we do have a special guest as usual. So production team, introduce the live from the cave viewing audience to the one, the only Eugene Bush.
Mr. Eugene Bush. Eugene is an actor, director, producer, and yes, a fashion icon. But Eugene is more than that. He's the owner and CEO of E-Trade Production Companies, headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. E-Trade Production Companies is doing pretty damn good. Eugene recently had a video go viral that Jordan Peele himself enjoyed, 1.3 million views, and that made Eugene, well, pretty happy. Eugene is a dedicated husband and an unbelievable father. Eugene lives by 3 rules: serve God, own property and business, and get good life insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cave, Mr. Eugene Bush.
Woo! Eugene.
Wow, that's
Wow.
like an amazing intro, Roger.
Yeah,
That was amazing. Wow.
We can really tell how Roger feels about somebody based on the intro he creates.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like, we bring this whack dude in, kick it. And other times, it's like one of the Avengers.
Yeah, if we'd have said, "Here's Eugene," and we'd have had wonk, 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 then you know how you felt the judge. But he came in with dramatic music. I thought I was watching a Star Wars trailer.
Right,
Me too for a minute there. I was like,
And
okay.
Eugene, of course, if all the things you're doing now don't work out, you can always be a stunt double for Lil Rel.
So I have heard, and it's crazy because growing up in Chicago, I know Rel. Like we
I
did
know he's
projects
from here.
together.
Yeah.
And so I've never gotten that while we were in Chicago the whole time. But all of a sudden, Rel blow up, and now we twins.
Well, that means you look like a little money because he's making a little money. So
Listen,
Or
last
Rel
time I
looks
saw
like
him,
you. Or Rel looks like you, and he just got there first to the lookalike part.
well,
Right.
that's probably what it is, to be honest with you.
yeah, no, I ain't mad at it at all. I feel like we both celebrities, so I'll take
That's
it.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a celebrity
Well-
now because you on live from the cave. So
Right.
That's right. This is what solidified it. If folks
That's
didn't know.
what?
We
You
are the
is
idea
official.
the dot.
You was
Dot guy
official.
across the
Eugene,
T.
you official.
That's what we do.
Y'all doing good. There he is.
Look at Mel, Rob in the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, we hope we won't have to go too
What
long.
up,
He hanging out with track stars and major figures, and that kind of thing. So good. That's what you do. Good
I'm
to
not
see you,
saying
bro.
I was at dinner with Carl Lewis. I'm not saying that.
Right. You're not saying that.
I'm not
We're
saying
glad
that.
you ain't bragging about it or nothing.
I'm not a name dropper.
Obviously, you took it to
I've
go.
never
You
known him to
stole
be a
his
name dropper.
food.
Hey Eugene, I don't know if you've watched the show before, but the hour goes incredibly fast. So we're gonna
I believe it.
jump right in it.
Right.
First thing we want to do, man, is really, really, really stress that we're hoping for your support as we drop in on Petersburg, Virginia on April 2nd. We're going, we had a wonderful Zoom meeting a couple of days ago with the coordinator of the event. And all systems are go. It's going to be a fun time. Going to be a little live music. I'm going to be on the mic for a hot second. We're going to have some vendors present. It's going to be a really good time. So if you aren't able to join us in Petersburg, certainly, send us well wishes and good energy, and wish us well in this new chapter of Live from the Cave. Because
that's important, Sean. But we're really going to talk about my endorsement deal, my unpaid endorsement deal.
You got Can it be an endorsement deal if it's unpaid, Glenn?
Somebody tag Licata and tell them I was flossing with their bottle, and it's a beautiful bottle. Just let them know.
Yeah.
We're gonna tag them. I'm gonna pour a couple of glasses, and we see what happens. Carry on, Sean.
Hey, I want you to answer that question. Can it be an endorsement deal if it's not paid?
Sean, I can make up anything I want, Sean. This is my world. It's like Facebook. I can be whoever I
Literally,
want
he
to
can
be.
make up anything he wants.
I can be whoever I want to be.
Hey, man, so many things to talk about, and they're kind of all over the place. I actually was struggling with how I wanted to present everything in terms of an order to you guys, man. But let's start, man, with let's get the heaviness out of the way. Let's start with Russia and Ukraine, man. That is an unfortunate circumstance, man. And I was spending some time, before the show, not only just watching, but also educating myself, on some of the details, man. And there have been some casualties. Some apartment buildings have been hit, man. They show some pretty disturbing footage, man. And even if we don't have an opinion on it, I certainly collectively, man, want to say our heart goes out to those people, man. They're hiding in subways. They're doing whatever they can to survive. I watched a video, man, of a man putting his 5 or 6 year old daughter on a bus trying to send her to safety, and he was just a wreck as you would imagine him to be. And it was just tough to watch, man. So let's collectively, man, send good vibes and things to those people. And any of you guys have anything about it that you want to share?
Well, I wanted to say, we had Leonard Mogul on the show early on in the show. He's from Ukraine. So family there and everything. So heart goes out to him. I've got a couple of friends that are from Ukraine that have family there. So really just empathize and prayers go up for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know if I'm the only one. I get all my news from TikTok, and it was kind of short in the explanation of actually what happened. Okay, so
yeah. You are already one of my favorite guests in the first 10 minutes. I just want you to know that was funny.
It's facts. It's all facts.
It's all facts, though.
Yeah. Did you see the girl trying to explain Ukraine and Russia like a jealous boyfriend?
Yeah, exactly. That's the only really foundation I have for what
everybody took that and posted it.
That was where I was going, man. I hate to. I mean, y'all know me, Gene. These guys know me. They know where my hypersensitivities are. They know where my frailties are. And I believe, especially with people of color, but the genders, I believe we really can engage in dialogue that's helpful for us. It can be challenging, it can be tough, but it can be helpful for us. And man, when I scrolled and saw all of these posts from a lot of ladies I knew that likened the invasion to a toxic male ex, it just bothered me, man. I can't, and I was going to ask y'all, I don't mind, man, somebody putting a foot up my ass and telling me, yeah, you being sensitive, whatever. But that just bothered me, man. My belief is that if you're not trying to help the void and the divide that's between us, then you're probably contributing to it. And I just felt like that's something, man, that does not do anything good for the relationship between men and women when you take something that tragic and that horrific and then put a male and female, presentation with it. That I couldn't see the good in that, man. Did that bother anybody else?
I will say this. I agree with you to a certain degree or extent. What I will say, though, some people's experiences give them that type of thought process where it's been that bad for them in an abusive relationship. Ultimately, what's happening is Russia has decided, I'm taking over. We're going to demilitarize and all of these things, and you're going to do what I say to do. So for some women, they have had that experience.
Oh yeah, I don't struggle with the connection.
It's the insensitive. It's the
I struggle
insensitive
with the fruit that tree will bear. You know, and I mean, we've all, man. You know, we aren't young boys. We've all had bad relationships. We've all dealt with females that weren't healthy. You know, psychologically, it's just a numbers game. You know what I'm saying? By this time in your life, everybody's dealt with a fool, whether you're a man or a woman. And so,
Yeah, some more than others. I know
Right,
Mel's got
right.
some personal stories. I've heard about some of the women on his side. That's
right.
You know,
Some problems.
here it comes.
Right.
Here it comes. Come on, just get it out the way now. Just get it out the way now, man.
Has
You
the
know what you
framework-
did.
There we go.
Had the framework been, been more general,
Yeah.
but to see ladies posting that, it was tragic for me. I didn't really dig that at all. I thought it was just something that contributes to the division. It's almost like, the same way I don't like when the Black Lives Matter statement is modified. I understand what you're doing, but you're also diluting the original message that has a lot of significance. So now when I see, albino midgets matter too, it's kind of like, come on. So,
But they
Yeah.
do, though.
they do, but that ain't what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all lives do matter.
We
However,
just lost the whole albino midget demographic. Thanks to you, Sean.
hey,
Thank
I
you
tried.
very much.
Eugene,
I
I tried
tried.
to think of a demographic that probably wasn't watching.
I try to work with you, Sean, on this and
We just
understand
lost them.
the impact of ratings on
Yeah,
the show.
I just saw the viewers plummet. I saw the viewers.
Man, we just talked about that viewership yesterday, bruh.
We did. And we
You know who watches us.
Yeah.
But here's the albino midget. Here's the good thing, and I think this was divine because I was sitting on the sofa, struggling with how that made me feel after I had seen about 8 different ladies back to back, bam, 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 reposting that. Then I came across a story of a guy at a dealership, and he was in the dealership about to sell his Toyota Scion. He was offering it for a trade, and he was buying a BMW. I see you, Glenn. I want you to know. I always watch it.
I'm reading the
Okay,
comments.
whatever. And so while he was in there was a young lady in there, a young girl, probably college age, college student age, and she was trying to buy a Toyota Corolla, used Toyota Corolla, and the purchase did not work out for her, credit wise or whatever. And the man noticed her, and by the time he got through with his transaction buying his Beamer, she was gone. And he asked the salespeople, did it work out for her? Because he could tell it wasn't going well. And they said it didn't. He had them call her back and come back, and he gave her his Toyota Scion.
Mm.
And so, it just reminded me that not everybody is trying to contribute to the divide, and I'm sure for him it was more of an older guy, taking care of a younger lady, but it still just reminded me that there are still people who are sensitive enough to the way we treat each other and how good we can or can't be to each other, to do something good, and it just kind of made me feel real good. So I went from feeling pretty shitty about that other thing to feeling pretty good. So
Good.
thanks.
I was like, isn't that kind of the balance of social media though? Like nowadays, anybody with any opinion and any amount of creativity has a voice.
Yep,
Right.
they can express
Hey,
it.
man, everybody has
Bad,
a bullhorn.
Eugene, which is good. and bad.
Even without creativity.
Yeah,
even without
there's some people that
creativity,
aren't
everybody
creative
has-
at all.
And
that-
all you need, Eugene, is one person that identifies with what you're saying, whether it's twisted, skewed, or not, and that person is going to take that message and promote it, and then now you got two people promoting it.
Exactly.
And so it's so much easier, man, for fractured thinking to get out there, because fractured thinking is looking for somebody to affirm it. So the minute that it lands on somebody that feels the same fractured way, they get excited and go, "Ooh, we need to tell two people," and so on and so on and so on. So
I mean, that's what happened with the White House when they were charging the White House. People got together and started doing the same thing. Oh, let's this sounds like a great idea. Let's do it.
Yep.
Well, you know, everything is a magnet, including hate.
Yep.
You know, and so in that situation, hate was just the magnet, you know, that drew them in. And there's nothing worse than hate that thinks it's right.
Well, if
Or
ignorance
hate
is
that thinks
to
it's
be
love.
loud and wrong.
if ignorance is bliss was a person, it'd be January 6th last year. Everybody at January 6th, because ignorance was bliss. It was heaven. It was joy. It was nirvana. It was everything.
Eugene, my family's been saying that, you know, my whole life. That's why I laugh so hard. You can't be loud and wrong. Hey, man,
but you know, there's the flip side of that thing, though. The flip side and the good news is exactly what we're doing here today, which is why I love the fact that you got black men, professional, right, and all our glory, combating all that negativity that's out there, right? Like this is how we do it.
You know, we try. We get beat up sometime, but we try. And as far as professional goes, you know, Robert just got out. So he's trying to get, you know, he's trying to re-enter corporate America, and we're pulling for him, and you know, everybody's pulling our resources together, and you know,
Rob go get you for that one, Sean. You know,
hey, man, you know, he took a shot at me in the green room. You know, I was gonna wait for a good moment to get him.
You missed it, Mel. He took a really good shot. Like Rob came out swinging. I was impressed.
I'm still relocating my jaw. It was out of
He stole on me. He actually stole on Sean. He did.
He stole on me like we was in 7th grade.
You know what? You remember when you
took your Mike and Ike's?
And my wine candies, man. He took my Mike and Ike and my wine candies. I was like, okay.
Yo, wine candy is only a Chicago thing.
Lemon heads.
Really?
I'm saying, as far as us calling it that.
Calling it wine candy.
Right, because they call them Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, because that's really, that's the name.
Wine candy? That's what y'all called it?
That's what it is, wine candy.
Because you're a winer.
It's like sweet and tart. It's really tart.
When you say Jolly Rancher, I think you're probably a criminal.
Really? No.
I don't think I can trust you if you say
it's not what you know. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. Remember that.
Hey man, who watched any of the NBA All-Star Weekend?
I don't watch any sports, so I can't even participate in the conversation.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the dunk contest. Roger kicked him out. Really, Roger?
Eugene, and now that you're back in, give me your black card, please.
Yeah, let me apologize for Roger.
My wife took it a long time ago, fellas. Right? I wish I still had it.
She took your card. Is that what happens when you get married?
When I told her I didn't like Lauryn Hill and a couple other singers.
Hey, quit doing my boy like that, man.
Hey, look, Eugene, you may have already set a record for being put out.
I'm okay with the not liking Lauryn Hill.
Minutes.
I don't like people that come late either. And every year she gets later and later, and we get this divide between her last hit and how late she is.
Hey man, somebody made a very great point. They said Randy said, wow. They said Lauren made a legendary album. She's not a legendary artist.
Right. She made a classic.
You know,
she made probably one of the 5 best albums of the 90s.
Absolutely.
But it was the 90s. I need my $11.
Man, music is timeless though.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mel Roberson will be handling the gay for the next few moments.
Hell no.
How Mel end up being the only person?
I'm like, what the heck?
I am the voice of reason, Sean.
Hey man, first of all, I gotta say, this was a Connie.
You cannot say she made a legendary album, but she's not a legendary artist.
You think Lauren is legendary? She is one of the best MCs. She needed to rap more because she's one of the best MCs.
She's one of the best MCs.
But she's a dope singer, dude.
She's a dope vocalist. But here's the thing. let her status and her whole career is contingent upon the battle she's been fighting with the record label.
I thought it was.
Had that not been in place, and had she not had the PTSD from all of that, I mean, it was serious. As a matter of fact, she has a song with Toby, Toby and Chuku. Y'all know who Toby is?
No idea.
Toby is dope. So you just type in Toby in your Apple Music, Eugene, or title.
Is it Toby Ngwegwe, the one that does the videos with the white?
Exactly.
Oh.
She has a song with him, bro, where she talks about all of her stuff.
All her stuff?
Well, that's good. I like to hear that because I always thought that she let a bad relationship throw her off course because she seemed like she was so, sprung on that Marley board that she couldn't get herself together.
But I'm like, look, okay, I understand she had a battle with the record company, but she also has a battle with the clock. Because she ain't never on time with the damn concert that I've been to. Okay, she's on. There's a battle there too. There's a real battle with the clock. And
she wanted people to don't believe.
But I set up at Ravinia, and Ravinia has a curfy. They don't let her stay out there past 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So like I can't do that.
I saw her in St. Louis. She was actually maybe 5 to 10 minutes late, but that's about it.
Glenn, for real, I don't think I would have gambled on her with Ravinia. I'd have been like, nah.
I was on a date. What can I say?
Oh, all right. Well, you was trying to score points, so there were other things that were more important. So check this out,
man.
Not that date. No.
So
I have to say, I have never seen a dunk contest as horrible as the dunk contest this past week.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. I mean, people actually were getting up and walking out. It became memes and all kinds of stuff. It was like these dudes were trying to do the most creative dunks that they had never rehearsed. Like nobody could do the dunk they were trying to do. It was awful. They
just
showed
so y'all know.
Come on.
I'm the 1988 dunk contest champion on the crate in the alley
in the 9-foot rim
telephone pole in the 7800 block between Kingston and Colfax over in Tarrytown. Just so y'all know, 1988, I got the title, baby.
Is that right? 9-foot rim.
Oh, it wasn't even 9 foot.
Yeah, I won the rail ball dunk championship in junior high where we play on rails with a tennis ball, and I did a 360 on the rail, so I should be in the dunk contest too. Now, Stephen A. Smith had in between him yelling all the time, he had a good idea because there are these dudes on YouTube that do some crazy dunks. So he was like having amateur dunk contest, bring like the 5 or 6 best guys off YouTube, people vote. Bring them to All-Star Weekend and have them compete because they have some mad dunks. Boy.
Yeah, I like that idea. Because I ain't gonna be in nothing but the Dunkin' Donuts contest.
Stephen A. Smith stole that idea from somebody.
But John, you in that 6-inch vertical can get up, dog. You can get up.
No, it's 6.5 on a good day for my knees.
Oh, okay.
I got a little pneumonia. Got a little pneumonia.
Y'all are clowning with our company.
So you're a comedian tonight.
Pneumonia.
Hey man, I'm just
that's about the funniest thing you said all season.
Hey, look, I real slick wrote down that I made Mel laugh.
I'm just glad you remembered the
I was
joke.
like, ooh, February 24th. I got it. So check this out, man. Why was there so much? I thought it was silly, man, that there was so much buzz about MJ hugging Mary J. Because they say, part of his hand was on her ass. And I'm like, MJ can palm a basketball. If he put his hand on your waist, he can put his hand on Eugene's waist. Part of his hand gonna be on his ass. It's just, he got big ass hands.
But he didn't have to put it on her waist.
Come on, work with me, man.
I'm just wondering why.
Just come in and ruin it.
Right.
He didn't have to put it
How did
on.
my name get in between Michael and an ass grab? I don't know how that quite happened.
Hey man, if I was hugging,
I wouldn't stop it.
I wouldn't hug her.
I wouldn't stop it.
I wouldn't come in and go for the shoulders.
The rub is when she hugged Tyrese, she gave Tyrese the church hug.
The one arm.
What I call the Christian side hug.
She gave Mike the full body roll hug.
Well, isn't there a money difference there?
There's a huge money disparity there.
Right.
Money difference with Mike and everybody.
Isn't she, hasn't she been paying child support? Not child support, alimony. Yeah, all of that stuff that she's broke.
I would have hugged Mike longer than Tyrese, though. I'm sorry.
He
He got a lot more money.
He got more money than me.
Hold me tight. He said, "Hold me tight."
Tyrese, how you doing? He wouldn't even got a hug. It just
I mean, if she made a move to pay for dinner, I wouldn't be offended. If she broke, we might, there might be a dent in her purse behind that old whack dude she was with. But
I love me some Mary, so I
don't talk about Mary, Sean. I'll put you out the show.
Hey man, I love what Mary represents. I've never been necessarily moved by her as an artist, but I love what she represents. So she's still iconic.
You mean her dance?
her dance.
Her dance.
I love her dance. I love her.
Oh yeah. Man, if she danced in one of the tracks in a chair, Sean, you could probably appreciate her dancing in the chair. I mean, she was getting it in.
Not because my knees is bad.
Because you like chair dance, don't play. Women, hey Rob, relationship jeopardy. What is a chair dance? What's Sean's favorite dance move?
Mine would be a lap dance, but that's a different show.
Chair dance, lap dance. It could be
so check
Same
this
thing.
out. Did any of y'all see the video of Isaiah and Magic and Michael? I posted it on my Facebook page. So there's a video.
He challenged Magic to one-on-one?
No. There's a video where Magic and Michael are coming into the ceremony, right? And Magic is behind Michael. And Isaiah, they're coming down the stairs. Isaiah is coming up the stairs toward them. Now, Magic, Mike and Isaiah, they got real beef. They got beef jerky beef. So Isaiah walks up and says something to Magic in his ear, and they talking for like 15 seconds. Mike just standing behind Magic, not saying nothing. So then when Isaiah's done talking, he turns around and walks back down, and then Magic kind of leans back, and then him and Mike like roll for like 45 minutes. Like you can tell whatever they just said was some old, some old hood brother, that man don't like me, da-da-da-da-da. And it was so hysterical, man. And it made you really understand how deep that beef is between those dudes,
Well, a lot of the beef, I think, is contingent upon the fact that Mike is the representative for Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Isaiah thought that belonged to him.
From Chicago.
Yeah,
right.
And it's like, bro, you play for Detroit, like.
Right.
Yeah. And you got booed at the All-Star game.
And it's a dude from North Carolina that is more identified with Chicago than you are. And that's Isaiah's beef. I think Mike's beef is still how they shunned him from the All-Star game. Mike hasn't, his first All-Star game, they wouldn't feed him the field.
I think the walking off the court, when him and Lambeer walked off the court when the Bulls finally beat them, and not even shake their hand.
Well, but that was probably one of the reasons that Zeke did that, because they had that beef for so long. But for you to have an understanding with other elite players that we're not gonna let this dude shine, that's some real petty little girl, type of stuff. And it don't take Mike a whole lot to take some shit personally. So he took that personally, man, and it's been 30 years, and he still got beef with that dude.
I understand holding a grudge. I get it. I understand holding a grudge.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm going to read something to you all, man. It's that time. It's 9:30. It's already 9:30, Eugene. And
it already went fast. I was like, this Mike story is not even on TikTok, so I can't even. I
know. Obviously, Sean watched the whole All-Star game. You're the only person I know watched every minute of the All-Star game because I didn't even see
from every angle. He knows.
I don't know that I watched the whole game. And I don't usually. I'm a football dude.
He's got a YouTube channel analyzing the All-Star game. Sean Mason on the All-Star game.
I mean, he was so descriptive in that description of the whole. That was amazing.
It took like 10 minutes of the show to talk
about. He said what Michael wore, what the cologne he had on. I was like, this is.
Michael was wearing.
I still feel Michael's hand on the back of my ass. I'm still there with it.
Stuck on the Mary J. and Michael thing when he was below the waistline.
Did you see all that?
Eugene, I want to know now. Eugene, I want to know you are officially drawing your line in the sand now.
Eugene, I'm like, what we talking about? I lost track of what we talking about.
In a minute, I'm gonna be like,
we gonna hear the story though.
Eugene is for me or against me.
He gonna make sure we hear the story, Rob.
We gonna hear the story.
That was great.
Hey, viewers, I want y'all to help me out. I feel a little threatened. I feel a little ganged up. I want y'all to chime in and help me out.
It's gonna be a meeting. We gonna get a letter from Keisha. Y'all were mean to Sean.
That's right. I need some support. Raj certainly ain't gonna support me.
Well, we know Raj on your side.
Let me read this to y'all, and you tell me what you think. And,
should we take notes?
Probably because what you drinking?
Because it's gonna be a while.
I got prosecco tonight.
Something heavy.
No, I'm light.
Grab a pen because I don't want to ask you what the question was, and you need me to repeat.
Okay, you know who's gonna be answering first now. I'm cool. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm gonna let Gene go first. I'm gonna give him an opportunity to get back in my good graces. All right, so check this out.
Okay.
Written by a lady. I'm a newlywed, just got married about a year ago. I'm sorry, written by a guy, it's to a lady. I'm a newlywed, just got married about a year ago. My wife and I lived separate until we got married. On her birthday, which passed recently, her ex sent her a dozen roses to the house. The card said, "To the one I let get away, I wish you the best in your new life. Happy birthday." She has these roses proudly displayed on our counter next to the dozen I bought her. I threw his flowers away. She says it was immature, petty, and jealous. I say it was disrespectful and a slap to my face. She says he does it every year, and I never knew it until we lived together. I told her it needs to be his last year. Was I wrong? Am I being petty?
I think this was gonna be unanimous.
Eugene, come on. And
wow.
Mel stopped eating for this. Rob stopped drinking, and Eugene just stopped whatever he was doing. Like
I got my notepad. I'm ready.
Let's start rubbing my beard. There's a couple of suggestions I would have for the young man. Number one, I felt like he probably should have known who he married before he married her. Because that's not something you spring up on somebody. Like, hey, my ex is still in my life.
But he addressed that. He said they didn't live together till they got married. So clearly she was getting those flowers unbeknownst to him.
But that's my point, is they must not have had deep enough conversations for him not to even have that brought up.
Or she was hiding it intentionally.
Because
that's possible.
Okay, so this is one of those things that you just don't spring up after the wedding. You know, like we should have had these conversations beforehand, right? Like, baby, it's a deal breaker if your ex is still providing for you. You know, like that's kind of my job. You know, so I would be concerned that I feel like they need to increase their communication. That'd be my first advice. But now the answer of is it wrong, is he petty or not? I don't know. I wouldn't have thrown him out. I think I would have probably brought up the panties that my ex had. And I'd have hung them on the mirror next to hers. And if it's okay for the goose, it's got to be okay for the man.
You know, I really didn't know whether this dude was going to be on my team or not, but I love him regardless.
So,
you are welcome back anytime to the show. I love that answer.
Big male. Because I got a feeling that Eugene can take this into some dark places. So tell me what you think.
So here's the thing, right? I don't care what happened before we got together. What matters is what happens after we get together, right? So if this has been your tradition for years, that's fine. But at some point,
this year,
right? Like you got to draw the line where it's like, you know what? It's been cool for the past umpteen years, but that's no longer a thing. Especially if he's saying to the one I let get away. Like, okay, well, she gone now, nigga. Like, it's done.
She gone like
She done
pew.
got away.
It's
She done
done.
got away now.
Pew. Like JB Smooth say, pew. She gone.
It's done. It's done. You know, and these are the type of conversations that we have. Like I'm still in contact with some of my exes. You know what I mean? And if I'm not in a relationship, the level of conversation or flirtation is different. But once I am, it's like, yeah, that's not a thing. There's no opportunity for it. So I don't know if I would have thrown them away though. I probably would have made potpourri out of them or something. You know what I'm saying?
See, I'm one of those guys, man, that prefers to let you know how I feel about something and then watch how you navigate.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's kind of late after you married, bro.
No, but
Right.
I'm just saying if I let you know how disenchanted I am by this nigga's flowers sitting on my countertop, and you at peace with it, and I'm your husband, and he's a part of your past.
For now.
The neighbors would have some beautiful flowers.
No. I'm just going to move forward with that reality.
You go act accordingly, Sean. Mm-hmm.
If I have one huge flaw when it comes to dating, is that I am a chronic mirror image of my mate. So when you start giving me nonsense and foolishness and bullshit, I don't send a memo. I just mirror you.
You just return the favor.
I just return, and not in a petty way, but in a, so this is how we're functioning. This is what we're doing.
But that's petty.
This is
That's kind of petty.
You can't say not in a petty way and be petty.
I don't feel petty when I'm doing it. I feel like, no, these are the rules that you say.
When an Aries tells you you're petty, you're pretty petty, Sean.
You know,
So here's the other question. You know, this is like a Dr. Phil. How does that work for you?
Works fine for me.
He felt good about it. Yeah, he felt good about his pettiness.
I sleep real well because I'm also a mirror when you're giving me your best. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody is giving me a best that I need to come up to meet, then I'm willing and ready to come up and meet that level. But if you giving me some old bullshit,
when they go low, Sean goes lower. Basically, let me just cut it all off.
And I'm already short, so it ain't that hard. I'm already short.
Sean, I'm not even laughing, Sean. Sean,
Yes,
that was not funny.
Yes, you are.
Sir, I am on your side.
You're probably tall, Eugene. You're probably tall.
Just a couple feet. That's it.
Couple feet taller than you. What do you mean? He's like
Taller than Lil Rel, I bet that. That's why.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sean, I'm on your side. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. Like that, they should get whatever they sow, they will reap through Sean.
Man, that's
biblical.
Again, I'm not.
It's a man of God.
I'm like, okay, so you're setting the rules. Okay, I'm following your rules. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did anybody not get a chance to share on that?
You didn't call on me, Sean. You didn't call on me. You didn't want to know what I wanted to say.
Come on, King Baldini. I want to know what.
Well, so if my ex, well, it depends on which ex. It's like Sanaa Lathan, if she's sending some expensive stuff because she's tired of Rob. And I get it, and I understand. I don't condone it, but I understand. So if she wants to send me, her La Perlas, we could talk about it because I can resell those. So that's good. I'm all right with that.
I don't. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't usually respond directly to the comments we're getting all the time, but someone says if you're mirroring them, what do you give them? What I'm saying is I usually come out of the gates a lot more intense, and so if my mate isn't matching me, then I match them, because to me they're telling me where we are. They're giving me the rules of engagement, so to speak, and so it's not a matter of me not giving or giving, it's a matter of equity.
Isn't
that
really the case though? I mean, because if you think about everybody, number one, doesn't have the same capacity, number one. Number two, they might have to learn to match your level, right? So if you decrease that and they're not used to that, if they've never done it before, never seen it before, never experienced it before, you know what I mean? It could be
yeah, but I'm not talking about in those obvious spaces. I'm talking about in spaces like you let your ex send you flowers and you put them up in the crib. You know, I'm not necessarily talking about somebody who, you know, your past relationship, you're not used to communicating as openly as I am. You know, I'm not talking about that kind of scenario. That's something that we grow together with. But if you're doing some stuff that is clearly making me uneasy, then that's a rule of engagement. If you can go to bed at night knowing that I'm discontent about something you did and you at peace with it, then okay, that's what we're doing then. Okay, yeah. I need to lower my expectation and I need to function like you function.
You need to leave.
Well, you need counseling. I mean that's really what it is. It's about counseling, brother. You know, when those type of situations happen, and I'm not talking about you necessarily.
Sure you aren't, Robert. Sure.
Okay. Well, today I am, but I mean,
he did say you needed counseling. He said that a few times.
Just said, Sean, when you and Jackie was together.
Wow.
But you know, it's funny that you say that. I did have something similar happen when I got married. You know, some things showed up, but we had some discussion about it. And I think that, you know, when you get married, it should be a whole different ball game. You know, I've said this before because I think vows are important, and we've made vows before God and everybody else who.
Consonants are important too. That's how you get a whole word.
Say that again.
I said consonants are important too. That's how you get a whole word.
Yeah,
he meant VOWS, Mel. VOWS.
Oh, vows.
Vows. VOWS. Thank you.
You know, yeah. So I think that those things are important, you know, and because we have committed to something.
Okay. What Robert is saying, let me translate. What Robert is saying is either the flowers leave or you leave with them. But one way or another, the flowers are leaving.
So check this out. And this is why I love communication, but because I think oftentimes the way we hear something is really based on our own perspective, our own lens. What is the thing that pulls our consciousness the most? So somebody said only people with insecurities and or low self-esteem are threatened by flowers from an ex or anyone else. They are an ex for a reason. And to that I say, the flowers aren't the issue.
Right.
What your wife chose to do with the flowers is the issue. You can't. I mean, you can't. You're not going to be able to take an attractive mate anywhere and a woman or a man not notice them. You're gonna go to the bathroom. He gonna walk by and say something slick. She gonna walk by and say something slick. You can't control what other people do. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is what the wife chose to do with some flowers that she know the husband did not appreciate sitting on his counter. And to me, that's how we miss each other, because we start focusing on the things that we're hypersensitive about, and we miss the meat of, you know, what we're talking about. Anybody all day can send stuff. What you gonna do with it? You need to be throwing that shit in the garbage if you're my wife. I'm sorry. So,
or if they're really, really nice flowers, if
that's what I was about to say.
If they're like the flowers, the expensive ones that come in the thing, the forever flowers, what are those called? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
It don't matter. I'm with you.
This $250 bouquet of flowers, and we finna sell them and go have dinner with what we made.
Right.
Infinity flowers.
Right. Let your ex take us to dinner, man. That's what we can do. Let your ex take us to dinner. Yeah. So we got about 10 minutes left. 5 minutes. Lord Jesus, right?
Wow.
Okay, 10. Thank you, brother. So I posted this on my page this week, and it got some very mixed reviews, but they were all kind of intense. And it was basically the rules for dating. And they read like this. And Eugene, I want you first.
Okay.
Better write this down, Eugene.
No, you probably need to write it down. Bullet. Number 1, talking. We've exchanged numbers, do things on a friendship level, and maybe even have sex. Testing the waters to see if there is a growing interest. Number 2, Eugene, dating. We are spending time together doing various activities, movies, bowling, concerts, etc., as friends with a mutual interest in each other, but we are still allowed to talk to other people, reference talking as what they mean. Number 3, dating exclusively. We are dating, however, we have agreed to cut off all other people we're interested in to focus on us getting to know each other better. 4, relationship. We have made a mutual agreement to become a couple. It's just you and me, point blank, period. Now most people, and ladies chimed in quite a bit, felt like, okay, that's a pretty solid assessment of how it should go. A lot of ladies felt like, okay, this is news to me. Is this how it's done? I want to know what you guys think. Eugene, first, is there a structure? Talking, dating, friends. Now, understand, we all know that they don't have to go in this order, but we're just defining those particular things. Talking, dating exclusive. He is cracking me up with that pen.
He wrote it all down. It was a lot, John. It was a lot. I mean, damn. Dude, you just gave
Eugene, let's compare notes, Eugene.
I want Gene to host next week. And Gene host next week? Okay.
You remind me of my world history teacher or something. All this stuff and then
so talk to me. Are those valid, Eugene? Talking, dating exclusively, and relationship. Are those valid?
So I don't see why they wouldn't be, right? And actually, what baffles me even more is like, this seems so normal. Like, that seems like to be the expectation, right? You find somebody you like, you start talking to them, then y'all go out on dates with one another, right, to see if there's any interest. Then you hand them the note.
Do you like me?
Do you like me? Yes or no? Circle 1.
Well, clearly they do though, because they said under number 1 under talking, y'all could be juicing too.
Y'all could be juicing.
Well, the whole thing though, I think, is a conversation that happens from 3 to 4, dating is
okay. So we talking from the cave. We can get real with the men, right?
Right.
We know juicing can happen at any level.
At any one of them levels.
Without one of the levels.
Even if you ain't talking.
You put it in the first.
Juicing can happen before the talk part.
You put sex in the first stage. John,
that's right. We got to test this thing out.
Listen, brothers. Okay, so if we're going to get real, let's educate the women that's out here.
Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. You go first.
There are two type of pipes that a man can give. Okay? I can give the married pipe. The married pipe is, I want something from this pipe, right? I'm laying a pipe, but I expect some love, interest. I can show you to my boys, okay? That kind. There's expectations from this pipe. But then we all know there's this other pipe that you can lay that has no expectations. And actually, you don't want anybody to know you laid this pipe.
So would we call that a secret pipe?
Either it's a secret pipe
or bag.
Okay, the bag over the head pipe.
Right. Don't tell nobody that.
I'm giving out all the secrets. Y'all got me on the show. I'm giving out all the secrets. It could be sympathy pipe.
This is between you and me.
Okay, just don't tell anybody past this show.
Hey man, okay. For real. After a year and a half of doing this show, I really didn't think there was anybody could come on here and say some shit or reveal some shit that had not been addressed in the previous shows. Can he be the guest next week?
I think I want to do a 5-man. I want to do a 6-man show. I want him and Randy Stress on the same.
But am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth? Because these women get it confused.
Right.
I'm telling y'all. Randy on the same show.
1 second.
These women get it confused because these women will get the pipe and they think, "Ooh, he giving me the pipe. He loves me." No, boo. It depends on which pipe I'm giving you.
Eugene just called you on the night you wanted to work out.
Eugene is your pipe translator.
I just wanted to work out. See what I had in the tank.
See if I still got it.
I just want to steal if the Red Bull worked or not. I just
come on. I mean, one of my boys gave me this little pill. I want to take half of it to see.
Right. I was worried about taking the whole pill, so I only took half.
I only take half of it.
Eugene's name to Eugene the Plumber Bush.
Eugene the Plumber.
The thoughts and opinions of Eugene Bush's Productions do not necessarily represent those of Live from the Cave. In any parties
we're in the cave.
Hey, look,
this is what happens in the cave.
Crush on this dude. Oh my God.
But that proves that women can't
sweating
count.
and crying.
But Sean, your thing proves that women can't count because they'll go from stage 1 to stage 5 right after that because of
the pipe.
The thing is,
women stay off the pipe. Here's our message: women lay off the pipe. Okay,
everybody hates the steps, while men want the steps. You know, women often want something so magical to happen that we toss the steps out. And men are so fearful that we want to take the steps so that by the time we get to the last step, we're 100% sure. But that, I think that goes back to the fact that women are often more emotional creatures and men are more logical creatures. So we want it to go through its natural progression. Women want it to be so magic that we throw the progression out.
Yep. See, women, y'all can't count. That's your problem. Y'all go from 0 to 100.
You can't handle the pipe. That's what it is. You can't handle the pipe.
And that's why, and that explains, but that explains why so many women will engage men that are known whores.
Robert just made me choke. Wait a minute, I just choked on my licata. Robert's like, you can't handle the pipe. He went all Jack Nicholson on.
But Eugene, tell me if you think this is true. That is part of the philosophy that has a lot of times women still engaging men that are known whores because they have this magical, I'm going to be the one that takes him out the streets. I'm going to be the one that makes him stop being a hoe because he's so in love with me. And then you married him and 3 years later you got STDs and you realize he's been a hoe.
Wait a minute, Kevin Foster just tagged it, pipe dreams.
It's the pipe dream. That's what it exactly is. Sean, and I'll say this. So I've been doing video for 12 years. And I've done a number of weddings. And it is unanimous. I've never been to a wedding where there's more women on the floor. When they say, hey, it's time for the garter belt, all the women come out.
That's a dangerous place to
be. Right?
Yep.
Or, I'm sorry, the bouquet.
In their pockets, holding drinks.
Bruh, when they call for the men, no men show up on that dance floor.
Right.
Hey, they need single men. They got their 13-year-old cousin Ray standing out there.
Yep.
Right.
I called a garter by accident. I called a garter by accident one time because he slingshot it, and your reflex is to stand up. And I tried to drop it really quick. Like, hell no, I didn't do it. It was too late. I had held
How many of us
like
have been at a wedding? Hey, look, and we saw people moving out of the way of the garter.
Yeah.
And my boys fire. Like, hey, don't throw
Matrix that thing.
And my boys, we all moved out the way and let this 11-year-old catch it. We like, one day you'll get married. No, just take it now.
Right. But that's the psychology for me that revealed the psychology of men. Most men that I've just, experienced, most men get married because we have to, not necessarily because we want to.
That's true.
Yeah, men surrender.
We surrender to marriage. Whereas women have the pipe dream. They want to get married. That's their goal.
And that's why I tell a woman, if you have a man who is not surrendering, he is a man that has looked at you and has decided everything I do from this day forward, I want to do with you.
Pipe and all.
That seriously.
Did you just
say that? Take that seriously? Because
you better hold on to that pipe because that's good pipe.
That's good pipe.
That's good pipe, baby.
Thing, though.
It's been cleaned.
Your name on it.
But I don't think that it is. I don't think that it is because men are trash. I think it's because men are victims of being programmed that way. It goes back to what Mel said when we were at the Black Women's Expo. Little boys aren't taught that their virtue is covetous. We're little boys are taught some dysfunctional shit out of the gate, and so then you're grown man with dysfunctional shit. So when you find a man that has broken through that dysfunction and that programming, I always go back to the Cosby Show and Bud and his brother, who taught him all that whack stuff, and he would say to Rudy, and they would go, "Who have you been talking to?" So if you find a man that has actually worked through that kind of stuff, you're a fortunate lady. because a lot of men, and I'm just saying it, they aren't strong enough to work through that programming and look at that and say, ooh, this is not healthy. This is not the way I should be.
Either not strong enough, or you got so many options that you don't even have to nowadays.
You don't even think about it. It never crosses your mind, you know. I know they gave us 5 minutes extra, Mil. I know guys that got married and on their wedding day they making a move.
Oh yeah.
It's like, really? Like, why?
I know a few that did that. I know a few.
Yeah, I would never want to be that dude, man.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
But those are the people that surrender to marriage. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that surrender to marriage. Hey, man, it's 9:56. We got to be out of here by 9:50. I asked the production team if I could end with a quote. I really had another thing I want to talk about, but I want us to save it for next week. I'll give it to you guys early because I want you to think about it. Right? Why is that funny, Robert? I don't.
Because Rod just says it's a quote or is it a story? Our producer is drunk. Rod Jackson is drunk.
So,
it's accurate though.
And
so next week I want to talk about one of the things we talk about next week, and I'm giving you guys a whole week to think about. How do you survive? You know, there's an adage that says your gifts will make room for you,
Yep.
right? And we have evidence of that. We've watched the gifted male use his gifts, and they've made room for him. Yada yada yada. We've seen you do it, Glenn. I don't even know Eugene, but my gut tells me his gifts have made room for him just by the way he's made me laugh this evening.
So I don't get credit for my gifts?
No, you don't.
You didn't said everybody else but me.
No.
In the green room, me and you.
So how do you survive until your gifts make room for you? We're not answering that now. I just want you to think about it. How do you survive when they haven't started making room? How do you survive until they start making room for you?
All right, we're going to answer this next week?
Next week.
Just like homework now? We got homework. That's in my contract. When I sign my deal,
should we have taken notes?
Mrs. Crabtree.
Should we have wrote this down?
Call me Mrs. Crabtree.
She said,
all right.
We need to talk.
Here's the quote I like to end with.
That wasn't it?
I'm going to stab you in the eye, Robert.
Sean is a preacher, okay? I already feel the anointing. He's on his third ending. This is getting good. Y'all leave him alone.
You do more encores than James Brown.
Y'all leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
You got 3 points like in the CME church. Okay.
We're about to be out of here. Come on, it's going.
All right. So this is the end of the show. Okay, here we go. This quote. You ain't got to write this down, Gene.
I'm flipping my notepad.
Men, Robert,
Gene's out of paper.
For a minute, I'm trying to be serious.
Come on, now.
Men aren't trash. Women aren't crazy. Everyone is damaged.
Yes.
Most are distracted. Everyone needs healing. Not everyone is aware of what or how to heal. Nobody has all of the answers. Be patient. Be transparent. Be compassionate. Be open to love. Be the light. See you all next Thursday on The Cave. Yo, to the Noops. Appreciate you, Gene. Don't go nowhere. We're going to be in the green room after the show. See y'all next week. It's been live from The Cave. We out.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.